Okay, so a very intriguing trade happened late last night, and there was speculation for quite some time that JT Miller or Elias Pettersson could have been on the trade block for Vancouver. For me, when I see a trade like this, now most of the times when I see a trade, it's because one team is out of a playoff spot, the other one's a contender, so therefore they want to trade, add another player, and hopefully they can help them further their playoff run or push. But for both these teams, the Rangers aren't technically that far out of a playoff spot, and the Canucks, they're only a point behind the Flames, I do believe, for that last wildcard spot. So this was more of a personal trade than it is to make your team better in the long run trade, because JT Miller still has 5 years left to go on his contract from the Canucks that he signed 2 years ago. So it's not like he was in the last year of his deal and he wasn't just getting the money that he wanted. There was just a lot of tension between him and Elias Pettersson. So clearly one of those two had to go. And for me, it probably made more sense to trade away Miller, even though they both had long-term contracts. But I think because Elias Pettersson was making more money, it would probably be hard to find a trade partner to take on most or at least half of his salary. So I guess it kind of makes sense to trade away a veteran player compared to a Pettersson who's only been in the league for a few. He hasn't been in the league as long as New York. Now, for JT Miller, this isn't going to be anything new being traded to New York, because he actually was drafted by New York back in 2011. You think he spent about 7 years there before he got traded to Tampa Bay in the 2018-19 season. And then in the off season of 2019, he then signed with Vancouver. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. He spent 5 full seasons there, well, 5.5 seasons now with Vancouver. So it's not like he was brand new to the city. And during his 5-year tenure there, he made the playoffs twice. And 2020 was when they had the COVID year. They won their first round against St. Louis before losing 7 games to Vegas. And then obviously this past postseason, they won their first round against Nashville before losing in 7 games to the Oilers. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to help the Canucks get over the hump, get into a Final Four or a Stanley Cup final. So we'll see if he has any better luck when he goes back to New York. So with that being said, defenseman Eric Brandstrom is also going to be joining JT Miller, and defenseman Jackson Dorrington is also heading to the Rangers. Going to Vancouver is Philip Hedl, I believe, and defenseman Victor Mancini, and a 2025 first-round pick. So it could be a win for both these teams. Like, I'm sure for the Canucks, they just wanted to get the drama out of the way, and now that Miller's out of there, then hopefully the tensions won't be as hostile as they were before. So going the Canucks way, you have Philip Hedl. He's like a top 9 forward. He could possibly fit in on the left wing or the center, in my opinion. So I'm sure it'll be a good fit for him. And like I said, just for Miller, just to get out of Vancouver, get away from all that, I'm sure he's looking to have a clean slate going back to the Big Apple. I personally think that both these teams can benefit from this trade. For Vancouver, like I said, because they're so close to a playoff spot, adding Hedl to that lineup could possibly help them propel, get into a postseason. I'm not saying it's going to be like the trade of the year, because Rantanen already got traded. That was the trade. That was the trade of the year, in my opinion. But I think that Hedl can definitely get into the lineup for the Canucks and help them. And for sure, JT Miller, he can line up at center or on the wing at any point, or up and down the lineup. I don't think it really matters because the Rangers definitely need some help if they want to get back into a postseason spot. All right, that's going to take care of this recap of the trade between the Rangers and the Canucks. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, and as always, take care.